Hello, welcome to today's video where I want to show you how to make this cute little box. My daughter Karen had a birthday party, a princess themed birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and these were the little thank you mementos that I made for all her guests. As you can hopefully guess, it was Belle was the princess that attended her party. So I'm just going to show you very quickly how to make this. It really is quite simple. I started off with a piece of basic black which measured 21 centimeters by 21, and then for the casing for the card I have another piece which measures 11 by 24 and a half. So let's start with the square piece, which is 21 centimeters squared. I'm going to bring in my trimmer and we are going to score, so move the black out of the way. We are going to score at 1.5 and 2.5 all the way around. We're also going to score at 4 and 5, but I find it easier to do 1.5 and 2.5 all the way around and then do the other scoring over here. It's a little bit easier to handle. So 1.5 and 2.5, and again 1.5 and 2.5, and last time on this side 1.5 and 2.5. Then, as I said, we're going to score 4 and 5. You could just score the ones. I'm going up and down as I'm just so used to doing that. So 4 and then 5, 4 and 5, and the final side 4 and 5. Okay, so if you can see the lines scored there. Now what we're going to do on one side and the opposite side, we are going to score at 6.5 centimeters, but only down to this second line. So these little markers here on the trimmer help you see exactly where that score line is. So just to there, and then again at 14.5. Then we're going to rotate 180 degrees, and we're going to do again 6.5 and 14.5. Now we are going to take our scissors. So we are going to cut in the square here, cut off rather the square here, the full square here, so each of the 4 squares, and we're going to come up this score line and cut off to the diagonal here. So I'll just cut off the 4 squares so you can see what I mean. Now to create the corners of your frame, you're going to go back to these half score lines. You're going to snip up on either side on the score line itself. Then you are going to cut at an angle to the edge of the third. So up and at an angle to the edge of the third. And exactly the same on the other side. Snip here and diagonally across to the edge on the third score line. So you're left with this almost Aztec type shape. Then we're going to burnish. Oops. each individual score line. It just makes it easier for the next stage. Okay, then I have taken a piece of designer series paper from the Petal Palette Suite, and I'm just going to place that here on the inside. So this measures about 9.5 square centimeters. Then we're going to take the two fully rectangular straight edges and we're going to roll these in. And just leave it for a second or two for the tumbo to take hold. You could use tearing tape as well if you, oops, maybe a second or two longer. Squeeze down. And they're a little gluey. So same on the other side. And roll in, so putting your edge to this final score line. Now when you fold these two sides in, they're going to create that diagonal that you get at the corner of frames. I'm getting very glue fingers. So see what I mean? You get this lovely little edging here. So just holding for a couple of seconds or two, just for the tumbo to properly take hold. If for any reason you have a little bit of a gaping, you can always stick your piercing tool in with a glue dot and just push it down. But if you just leave it long enough, the tumbo should, if you're using tumbo, should take hold. Okay. So, right. Sorry, I've got very glue fingers. Okay, so moving that aside for a second. Now for the front of the dress, what I have done is I have taken, these are the dies, right, from the Seasonal Layers Thinlet set. It also coordinates with Colourful Seasons, and these are carrying over, great, I'm very pleased about, to our brand new annual catalogue launching on at the beginning of June. So you'll still be able to find these. They won't be available in a bundle anymore. They will be. You can purchase them separately. So for 10% saving, these are great to get now. I find them so useful. You have some beautiful spring blossoms and the autumn leaves, which are gorgeous, fabulous snowflakes, and this cute deck chair and drink for summer. So what I have done is I have used the scallop, which would be lovely for waves as well. I've used the scallop on some Daffodil Delight, and I've cut out 4 sections of Daffodil Delight with the scallop. So I'll just show you that briefly now. So bringing in my big shot, and I'm just going to cut a section here. So taking the scallop, I'm going to move that up a little bit so you can see. I'm going to lay it across my Daffodil Delight like so, and cover it with a plate, and roll that through. And just while I've got the big shot out, I might as well do the next section too, or the next bit, which is another piece from the Seasonal Layers Thinlits, is this branch part, and I'm using it as the stem for my rose. So I'm going to put that on some wild wasabi card. It's lovely green, which this colour is actually retiring. So it will no longer be available once our catalogue launches on June 1st. So move the big shot back out of the way. So we have this stem here. I won't need the full length of that. Okay, so you cut 4 of these swirls for her dress, and then you simply just attach them together. So I'm going to just use some snail for speed. I'm going to just arrange them, trying to keep them fairly straight. I may not have cut them as straight as I meant to. A little bit of glue left over on my grid paper from the last part. Okay, so you end up with something like that. And just checking you want it to not be too long. If you want to see some of the black behind it, then simply I've turned it over, and just to help me, I've just cut outlined a bit of an arc. And I've taken my snips. Where are they? They're here. Now you'd wonder how that very badly drawn line is going to help me, but it does. Just to keep me right. And that's Belle's dress. Simple as that. So I'm going to keep that to one side. I've also got my rose stem, and I'm going to bring in what is going to be my frame. One of the frame, the cover of my card. I'm going to bring it back in my trimmer. So this measured, if you remember from the beginning, this measured 11 centimeters by 24.5, and we are going to score at 11.5 and at 13. And just fold that over. And burnish it, and then we are going to pop in our frame, and it's just going to sit in here. And pop it over like so. Then we're going to take Belle's dress, and we are going to put that here. I might like a little bit more of the background to be seen. So I'm going to put this much in. I'm just going to trim off the edge with scissors. So that's enough for me. Then I'm going to open it, and I'm just going to use the actual card base as a guide for my scissors, for my snips, to trim that little piece away. Now, as I've already made all mine, I'm going to make this for my daughter because I didn't make her one. She really liked them. So I'm going to use about that much of the stem. You could actually keep that section for a further one if you're making it. And I'm going to just put that there. So a little bit of just dotting some Tombow. You could use the fine tip glue pen, or you could also cut this out using the adhesive sheets that we have that makes die cutting tricky little small shapes and sticking them down at absolute cinch. So just putting that there. Then how I made my rose, I used the layering circle dies, and I took the, I believe it's the third largest circle in the scallop, and I have cut out some real red, and I am just going to cut that in a ever decreasing circle. Sort of a circle. I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to manipulate it a little bit to make it a little easier to roll. Then I'm going to take my paper piercing. You could maybe use your scoring tool from the scoring board. And I'm just going to roll that around. I want it nice and tight at the beginning, but I'm quite happy for it to loosen up a little bit as we get nearer the edge. And it's going to go something like that. And you can use Tombow, but just for speed, I am going to take my silicone mat and a glue gun, and I'm going to put some hot glue there and just hold that in place just there. Holding that down, and there's my little rose. I'm going to bring back in my project, and I can use some Tombow here for this and place my rose back down. I could just add a little bit, though I'm sure it'll be hard to catch on camera, a little bit of Wink of Stella on your rose, just for an extra bit of sparkle. I'm not sure if you can catch that on camera. And on my original, I used this stamp, "Thank you for making my birthday happy," from All Things Thanks. But for this project, as I'm going to give this one to my daughter, I'm going to use a stamp from the Retiring Set Magical Day, and I'm going to use Wild Wasabi again, and I'm going to tell my little girl that she is one of a kind. this was a scrap piece I had, as you can tell. I took our duet banner punch and I have just punched out a little section or little shape to write her name. So taking some dimensionals, I'm just going to touch that to the back. There you go, that's the finished project. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can give it a try. It's really easy to make the dress. Of course you could go blue for Cinderella, you could go Melon Mambo for Aurora. What other colours do they all wear? Trying to my Disney princess knowledge. But you could make these into any little gift box, shadow box, putting some roses or other flowers. Get using that pansy punch before it retires as well. But there you go, that's today's project. For any more details, if you didn't catch the measurements, they will be on my blog and the link follows. And I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you soon then. Thanks. Bye bye.